Hey Busters, welcome back to another Digimon card game video. Today we'll be taking a look at the current tournament winning deck that Black has to offer. So I've already gone over the other 5 colors, so I'll leave a link in the description below for those interested. For those wondering why my review of Black is coming out so late, the main reason is that Black honestly isn't really winning any tournaments. While there are 4 super rares and above Black Digimon introduced in Set 2, sadly only War Greymon is worth running and isn't enough to actually make a tournament winning deck. So to go over them, Diaboromon's weakness is that its evolution cost is too high at 4 and it has subpar DP. Its low DP is mitigated by its great effect, but it's honestly a bit too slow to utilize in a pinch, whereas War Greymon can be thrown down and is an instant blocker. Mugendramon, while similar to War Greymon, is often benched due to not having restart that War Greymon has, allowing it to attack and block. Also, Mugendramon's Devolve 2 is great for delaying and removing Omegamons and other key level 6s the opponent has out, but the fact that you're leaving the devolved forms on the field is still an overall card advantage for the opponent, whereas other cards would just straight out destroy them, especially when you're giving the opponents so much memory just for playing Mugendramon. Black War Greymon has a great effect of allowing it to consistently fight if it destroys the opponent's strongest Digimon. However, it not being able to attack an active Digimon restricts its overall usage, and its ability to be played for 7 while the opponent has a 10,000 DP or higher Digimon on the field is okay, but not the best. Reason being that playing Black War Greymon will usually end your turn, leaving the opponent to possibly destroy your Black War Greymon before you can even use it. Especially with all the decks running vanilla level 6s that usually have 12,000 DP, Black War Greymon isn't gonna last too long. As such, War Greymon is the only real choice along with the generic level 6 beatstick Hyandromon. So, moving on to the deck itself, while this black deck has won a few tournaments, do note that these tournaments may have consisted of only 2 to maybe even 4 or 6 players, meaning even if the opponent had the better deck, like all card games, it might have just gotten lucky and won that particular day. So, the deck itself is basically a hit and block deck. It relies on having blockers out to deter the opponent from sneaking in early game security checks until you manage to hit level 6 and even the playing field. So for early game, you'll be playing a somewhat passive game, evolving and drawing cards while throwing out blockers to stall for time. During this time, you wouldn't really attack unless you're able to activate Greymon's EoE of granting jamming if it has restart. You will achieve this by either evolving from a Toy Agumon or if you evolved into a Metal Greymon. This will allow you to sneak in a check or 2 without risk of losing your Digimon. For mid-game, you should have managed to stall long enough to match the opponent's strength. You and the opponent will be trading blows, but with you having access to tons of blockers, should be able to win out in terms of security checks while you're able to keep your own level 6s alive, while your opponent loses theirs. If you arrive to late game, you'll be relying on Milleniamon's bounce effect for those pesky Digimon you aren't able to handle. So, for our key cards, Milleniamon is run as our ace in the hole. It's our somewhat full removal card and allows you to safely attack as it will revive itself whenever it's destroyed for the first time, assuming it has an evolution origin still attached. And it being level 7 means only Omegamon is the only security Digimon that it can actually lose to. For our level 6s, for the key cards, we have War Greymon. It having both restart and blocker means it's both your sword and shield. Attack on your turn and restart will keep it from being attacked on the opponent's turn while allowing it to block any attacks your opponents may have. Hyandromon is run for the same reason all other decks run vanilla beatsticks, in that they have a high survivability rate when checking security, losing to only other vanilla level 6s or Omegamon, and they only cost 2 to evolve into. For level 5s, the key card is Metal Greymon. It has restart on its own and grants a much needed security attack +1 if it evolved form has restart, which War Greymon does. Hyandromon will also be able to gain this extra check if it evolves from a Toy Agumon. The other key level 5 is Andromon. While it has generic stats, its blocker effect is vital as it allows you to evolve into a level 5 without losing your blocker presence, something all other decks of different colors must do. While not vital, some decks throw in Promo Infamon for its ability to devolve 1. It's great as it lets you jumpstart your evolution towards War Greymon while also setting your opponent back one evolution stage. Even more so if the opponent can't evolve back. However, do note that this effect only kicks in when you play Infamon for its 7 cost, usually meaning you give the opponent more than enough memory to evolve back, if not more. The choice level 4s are Greymon for its jamming EoE, as Black revolves around DP boosting itself on the opponent's turn. Your Digimon are generally quite average on their own turn, DP-wise, making jamming incredibly vital for surviving security checks, especially now that lots of decks are just splashing in starter deck Takeru for boosting their security Digimon by 2,000, which honestly really makes a huge difference. Guardromon is an incredibly good card. Despite being level 4, it has 7,000 DP, rivaling most level 5s. Of course, this incredible blocker has the steep trade-off of not being able to attack. Still, it's a great stall card and is a decent security Digimon too. Just remember to not include it in your calculations when trying to see if you can end the game on your next turn, as it cannot attack. Numemon is played for its cheap evo cost and play cost. Nothing more, nothing less. Decent for getting in a cheap hit at the opponent or bolstering your forces to end the game next turn. For level 3s, Toy Agumon is a must. It grants the EoE of Restart, which is vital for your combo with Greymon and Metal Greymon. Gotsumon is also played for the fact that it's a level 3 with blocker. Finally, Promo Caramon is played for its great EoE of granting plus 1000 DP on the opponent's turn. A great card, especially as it boosts your War Greymon to 12,000 DP when it's able to block, meaning it will be a 1-for-1 trade against the opponent's attacks, as well as pushing your High Andromon to that 13,000 DP domain that only red can defeat, as other colors generally lack DP boosting effects. For tamers, Taichi is the only real choice, as it gives you the option of gaining plus 3 memory on your turn, or rather, it gives you a minimum start of 3 memory, and has the plus 1000 DP boost, which is really good for black. And unlike other tamers, it only gets better the more Taichis you manage to get out. For option cards, Hell's Grenade is run for its cheap cost and devolve 1 effect. The black equivalent of Gaia Force, Mugen Cannon, isn't run because its effect of reducing any one Digimon to its lowest possible form isn't worth its high cost, as you'll end up with a -1 overall on the board. While it can reduce that Omegamon back to a lowly Agumon, the fact is that Agumon is still there, whereas other factions equivalent would have just removed it from the field, either back to under their deck, straight up destroying it, or bouncing it back to their hand, although there would be some requirement or some play costs as opposed to Gaia Force. So overall, there you have it, the strongest black deck that has the best consistency. However, as I noted before, it is still really weak as it has no real removals, and its theme of blocking doesn't really work, as the opponent will only be attacking when they know they can defeat your blocker, or they calculated that even losing to your blocker is worth the trade. Overall, black is a solid deck that goes at a steady pace. However, it loses out to other colors. Red and blue have the nigh unstoppable Omegamon. Yellow is able to recover its damage and even the playing field with Shy Greymon, while reaping huge memory benefits from its tamers. Green is able to bring out high-level Digimon incredibly fast with its Absorb evolution, and purple is able to swarm the field while reaping benefits from losing its own Digimon. Black relies on blocking the opponent while getting its own hits in, but fielding blockers eat up your memory you can't spare if you need to build up an actual attacker. However, the arrival of Set 3 will hopefully pull black back onto the board. And, before I forget, this information is only really relevant until the end of October, guys, sorry. So, once the 3rd set drops, black will have access to the Ludomon line, for its legend arms, bumping it from the unused tier to possibly overpowered tier, at least for the first few weeks. Whether or not it falls off like all Force decks, we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, once again, thank you guys for watching and hope you found this useful. And once again, apologize for the late review and the fact that you'll probably only really get a week use out of this, but still, just wanted to throw it out there in case people are wondering why the black review was so late. And as always, I hope you found this useful, and please feel free to leave any comments or questions down in the comment section below. If you have any questions wondering about why certain black combos might not or might not be working, or because on paper it might seem so good, let me know and I'll be sure to answer back. So this is Buster-kun here, watching that crazy sunshine.